This meeting may be broadcast or be rebroadcast on WestfordCAT. We're missing one, but anticipate he will be here. We'll start with open forum. Joe? Mr. Morissette?
No, Mr. Chair.
Anybody on the board?
No, thank you.
Nope.
Anybody in the audience? All right, moving along. We do have a public hearing this evening, PB 2503, 185 Littleton Road. Can I get a motion to waive the reading?
So moved.
Mr. Chair, I'm wondering if
Wait for Dylan.
it's up to the applicant. We may be having one additional board member show up. You are seeking a special permit. You do need 4 out of 5 votes.
I don't anticipate this being an issue.
Okay.
No.
I think we got good comments back from him, so I think we'll be good.
All right, so motion to waive the reading.
So moved.
Second. Before we open the public hearing, they do ask for a waiver to reduce the plan size for the for the submittal, and then request a waiver of additional plan requirements under 9.44 and 9.4.5. Let's discuss those, you guys. Okay with that, waiving the plan submittals?
That's relative to the site plan. You do have a plan indicating the approximate location of where the existing pylon is. It's just not a certified plot plan. So it's up to the board whether or not you're comfortable with that.
It's the same location.
It's remaining in the same location.
They're
Location's
changing the
not
slide.
changing.
I'm fine.
All right, is there a motion to open the public hearing?
Well, I mean,
Wait,
you
Do we
haven't
vote on those
voted.
waivers?
You have to vote
You
on
didn't vote on waiving the reading.
Yeah, I thought we had a motion and second. I'm not
We had
sure.
a motion and a
Say
second.
aye.
Aye.
No, thank you, Bob.
There.
Do we need to vote on the waivers now, or do it with the
We can vote on it now, so we don't forget.
motion to waive the plan side submittals, waive the additional plan requirements as requested and discussed?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Carolyn Parker, 3 Lorraine Ave, Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm here representing Global, who is the leasee of the property at 185 Littleton Road. Basically just here to remove the manual prices so people don't have to go out and change them on a daily basis, to install just one LED price sign. That's the way people are doing it now. They're not showing you 3 prices. They usually just regular, and if they have diesel, they'd show that. So it's just a reface, maintain the location, the square footage. The sign's already illuminated. There is an LED price sign across the street at the Hafner's. So,
Great. I'll go to the board. Any questions, Bob?
Yeah, the only question I had was about that single price. I thought it was odd because I think some of the other locations have 3 and 4 digital prices still. But
it's
I mean,
really,
is it gonna rotate?
no,
It's gonna just stay one price
One
for
price.
unleaded? basically.
yes. And that's what most people are doing now. Like I said, unless they have diesel, they'll have regular and diesel on the price sign. If
Okay.
it's a LED like that.
Joey?
No, I have no questions, thank you.
Any questions?
No, it doesn't blink or anything, right?
No, that would be other clients.
I like the kick.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I just say, one question I had is around the brightness of it. This sounds ridiculous, but it was,
LED lights are usually brightest during the daytime, and they dim it as it gets darker out. Any problem, you have a 1 to 10 for brightness. They usually put them around 8. If you have a problem, you come around the corner, you're like, holy crap, give us a call. We'll take care of that.
you can dim it.
Yes.
No?
But just relative to that question, the amount of light being emanated
Yeah, we-
should be less than what is currently there with the reflected light off of the manual
Right.
sign, correct?
Yeah. And some people have lighting bylaws, and I don't know how they can tell if the sign's not up and how to, you know what I mean? So, and it has a lot of landscaping around it, so.
Yeah, they just,
All right.
it's fine.
Anybody from the audience? Any questions, concerns? Staff, anything you want to add?
Nothing-
No, she
the only
answered
thing
my
I
one
was gonna
question.
add in response to her last comment, we do have to worry about lighting emanation here because
No,
of haystack.
no, I understand, but some towns have these,
Well, let me, Bob, finish his comment. So,
Just because we do have to ask about lighting on anything we do, because we have an agreement with Haystack Observatory for SETI, so.
I think you're gonna have more light off that canopy than you are gonna worry about.
We have more light, as I was indicating
Yeah.
already, from the reflected light today.
Right.
As opposed to the emitted light from the LEDs,
Exactly.
so, but I know you made a
You
comment.
have 3 gas stations on, 3 corners, so,
Right.
but that's not gonna be a problem.
All right, can I get a motion for PB 2503, 185 Littleton Road for a special permit within section of 5.3.45?
We need to close the hearing.
Oh.
I make a motion, we close the hearing for
Second.
185 Littleton Road.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Want to make the motion for the permit, Bob?
I'll make a motion that we approve a special permit for PB 2503 for the new sign at 185 Littleton Road.
Motion second, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, moving on, general business, PB 2102, definitive subdivision for 0 and 37 Carlisle Road, Diane Lane, request for minor modification, reduce the number of plantings and monuments. Mr. Morset, Mr. Genowitz?
So, this is kind of in conjunction with item, D on the, under general business with the street acceptance. But first is this minor modification, just going through, process, trying to wrap things up. There were 2 items, mentioned requesting minor modification. One was a reduction of monuments, for figuring out the geometry of the roadway. The engineering department did opine that they were fine with that. They still could do that even despite the reduction of the 2 monuments. And then the other was for a request to reduce 3 trees within the right-of-way. From 44 to 41, I imagine the applicant may explain where some of those came from. I'm guessing it probably was result from conflicts that were unanticipated, like with any infrastructure underground or something like that with the root system, but I'll
All
let
right.
them speak to that.
Engineering, have any comment on the monuments?
They were fine with the monuments reduction. They didn't comment on the trees.
All right, I'll go with the applicant.
I stole 3 trees to put at my house and did more. This is a case of between lot 5 and 6. Really, it is a conflict with utilities in a case like this where the frontage is reduced and we have a driveway, a gas line, a water line, and power. But also when we get into the space between lot 5 and 6, that's open space recreational, but we left it fully wooded. And we're looking probably for credit there. We didn't think it made sense that some of those trees run out to the right of way. We didn't think it made sense to put trees in there that would fall into the canopy of those tall pines. So it just applied a little common sense while we were doing it and moved on.
All right. I'll go to the board. Bob, any questions?
Actually, the question I have is about the quitclaim deed. I believe it was page 65 in the packet. And it references providing an easement for access by all inhabitants of Westford for Lot F. It didn't specify the equivalent for Lot E.
Okay?
And I thought it should be the same for both, since this kind of trail access is back into the open space.
Yeah, it loops around back out
Both
to the road.
those.
Yeah, it loops in between 5 and 6 and comes out between 3 and 4. So Melissa's probably gonna have to fix that when we send the final draft of the deed over for acceptance after we get through the select board meeting, or town meeting, I guess. We'll send that final over with some modifications.
So, this kind of ties into the next agenda item, but street acceptance is a 3-step process. The first is the select board declare their intention to lay it out as a public way, and then they remand it to the planning board for non-binding recommendation, and then they followed up with their public hearing process. So this is all part of the first step. The second step that the applicant referred to is actually town meeting, where they vote to accept it. And then the third step is actually following through with the actual conveyance, and that means making sure that all the documents are in order. They have 120 days from town meeting vote to actually take care of that. And obviously, this is something that would be reviewed by council for consistency with all the requirements. But if we have that question now, we can certainly warn them in advance of that, and it's an
Just
easy
want to make
fix.
sure we don't forget about that access over on Lot E.
Yep.
Because I remember from our site walk, that also provided access to the adjacent area to the north.
Audubon.
I don't,
Where though? Where to the, specifically?
There
'Cause
was,
where-
well, the north into the west, there was the, was it Audubon lands
Yeah,
down
but we're
there?
not, it's either in a permit or it's an Audubon regulation. We're not allowed to hop the wall and encroach on the Audubon land. That's, I don't know specifically if it's on our approval or if it was something that was given to us by Audubon, but they did not want us in there.
So, yeah, I just wanted to ask this to find out
Yeah.
what's happening. with
We
that.
do have a trail system in there. It was approved by Conservation, which we delineated with signs and cleared, trimmed and cleared and raked, that loops that stuff, but no, I mean, there's a wall there. It seems crazy to me, Bob, that someone wouldn't hop the
Right.
wall, but that is not what they wanted to happen there. So we didn't formally provide access and remove any stones to hop the wall type of thing. That's not,
But your plans do show a conceptual trail on Lot F.
Yes, the trail's there, to your point, and it should loop out and come around E. That's a little housekeeping we need to deal with. It does loop all the way around. We built it, we did build it, we had signposts put out at the road on both ends. We cleared it. Yeah, we spent some time on that thing, so.
was there not a trail easement already recorded?
There is, correct.
Okay, so we'll just make sure what's supposed to be trail is covered. We'll make sure council reviews that.
Anything else, Bob?
That's it.
Joni?
I just have one silly question. In the land tech letter, it says, on paragraph 10, it says 40 trees were installed, so just, you might want to correct that, if it was 41.
Yeah, I think that was a older count.
Version?
I think the updated later has 41 trees, and that's the correct amount.
Okay,
I think at one point I had 40, and then when I was recounting, I double checked, and we we're at 41.
that's fine. I just wanted to note that. I think that was my only question.
Anything?
Nope. Questions are answered, thank you.
I think that.
Oh, actually, I do
Go
have
ahead.
one other. I'm sorry. Question on paragraph 11 of that same letter talks about the trees installed in the right-of-way, not, installed in the right-of-way, not on private property. And then it says along the edge of the right-of-way, so who's responsible for the trees? And I only ask this is from my own subdivision. We had a tree that fell that was in the right-of-way. We thought we as a community had to take care of it, and actually it wasn't. It was the town's tree. So are the trees town property, or are they on private property?
For you.
I believe they're supposed to be planted within 10 feet of the property line, on the property line, I think is the subdivision regulations.
I think the intent is to have it on the private property, but in proximity to the line, so it's considered a street tree, but it's on private property. I know if you asked our tree warden, he probably would prefer that they all be on private property, but, I mean, it's planted where it's planted at this point, and I don't know how long it's been there.
Couple years.
So my question is really now, is it the town's responsibility, or is it the private property owner's responsibility? That's all
Might depend on exactly where
No.
it is.
the tree is.
Joe, can you pull up the as-built plan? It does show all the tree locations.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, there's several that are in the right-of-way, but majority look to be outside the right-of-way
Right.
or on the line.
Right on the line, right, so
Yeah.
it's kinda, I just don't want I know it turned into a big deal for us on what we were supposed to do and went back and forth, so, just don't want, if something happens, I don't want,
Yeah, the
residents to have a
sidewalks.
problem trying to figure out who's supposed to take care of it, and then if they take care of it, then it's a problem, they shouldn't have touched it, kinda thing.
Yeah, I mean, with the sidewalk on the south side, I think the majority would just be in question would be those ones on the north side. And like you said, they either fall right on the right of way or down in there, there's like one or two that fall within the right of way.
So that lower section of the roadway is probably due to the slope. There's a hill. We had a cut right there, so they were probably brought down somewhere where they'd grow and be stable. So some of those might be on the edge, but that's not really, can you bring that down a little more, Joe? Sorry, down. That's open space, so it would be, it's not a particular homeowner's lot at that point. It would be part of the HOA or the town. Yeah, those are right on the line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
common land.
Right.
Due to really hardship of the topography.
So there is an HOA.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Yep.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it, thank you.
We can clarify
Thanks.
41, 43 trees, I mean, I think that subdivision, after all said and done, came out really, really nice, so. Yeah, I think it was a success, so I'm fine with it. So, since it's kind of combined, anybody have any questions or comments about the recommendation to the select board about the street acceptance? Bob?
No.
Joni?
No, my only question is, was it, because this was when I was on the planning board, was it always envisioned to be a town? It was, okay.
Yes, it was.
My only question.
Yep, good question, but yes. Aaron? No. Good. All right, then, so for PB 2102, can I have a motion to approve the minor modification to reduce the number of plantings and monuments on 037 Carlisle Road, Diane Lane?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
For 037 Carlisle Road, Diane Lane, can I have a motion to recommend select board accept this as a public way?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So before moving on, I had one slightly related, not to Dave, but to Joe and Jeff. And there was a very good document in here from KP Law regarding the primer on the process for laying out, accepting roads. It's buried in our packet. I think that's a document that, like many others, maybe should be pulled out and published up on the website somewhere with the planning board so that others have the benefit of seeing that document.
Yeah, good recommendation.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Stay warm. All right, moving right along, we have PB 2427, definitive subdivision, flexible development, 115 Depot Street, Tall Pines.
So just wanted to make sure we didn't forget this was approved by town council, so I guess at the end of the meeting, we have it available here for your signature.
Okay. Now to 0829, Beaverbrook Village. Request to release Lot 1 from the covenant. Jeff, Joe, anyone want to start us out on this?
I'll start. So this is from an older subdivision, flexible development here in town, Beaverbrook Village. Several of the lots were released, but for one reason or another, Lot 1 was not released in the past, and somehow it got sold and is now up for sale again. So as the title exam was going through, somebody caught that this lot was never released from the covenant. So now we have, property looking to change hands. So we have a draft document, it's been reviewed, the applicant is fine with it. This is a slightly updated version from the one that was in your packet. It just is more the standard form that we have nowadays versus back when Beaverbrook Village was first going through their lot release process. It just includes the subdivision plan book page number, as well as the reference to Mass General Law, Chapter 41, Section 81. So again, the applicant's fine with the language. It's our standard form. So just be looking for you to release the lot at this point. Engineering hasn't had any issues out there. They didn't cite any in discussions with them. I don't know if the applicant has anything to add.
No.
So as far as we know, it's always been in compliance, it just kind of slipped through the cracks?
As far as we know.
No.
And there might be one last straggler lot not yet
Yeah.
released, but there is also, I believe, some form of security, so we hope to have a future agenda item to clear up both of those. It's to think that all of the dwellings got built, sold, occupied, it doesn't make any sense that they weren't released, so, but before the last one, we want to at least see what's what, and if nothing else, there's probably some security to be released.
All right.
Ballpark of 25,000, probably just the retainage at the end.
Bob?
A couple questions. One, the road, has it been accepted? Is it a private way?
Private way. We have received as-built plans, as it kind of went through the process. Again, for one reason or another, I guess some of the stuff just kind of fell through the cracks. Not sure exactly as to why, but.
I believe there was some staff turnover around that time period. But I don't know if that's related to it or not.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the notes, or when they were producing the restrictions and the plan for release, about why they were holding lots? And do we know if those conditions were satisfactorily met?
Nothing from what I could tell in old minutes that I was reviewing. It seemed like things were going along, but for whatever reason, they were releasing one lot at a time.
Right.
And, you know, who knows why exactly? Again, it could have been staff turnover, but just they never released the final 2 lots as part of it.
Joey, anything else, Bob?
No, that's,
Joey?
No, no questions, thanks.
Darren?
No, the only question I would have had was surety, and it sounds like Jeff's already, you guys have looked at that, so.
Yeah, we weren't ready to bring it forward to this meeting, but we wanted to be, you know, sensitive to their timely request. And there's still another lot remaining, and we do have to do, it's a lot more research for the security, so we didn't want to rush that. We want to get all that information, bring it back to you folks.
Well, in my opinion, it's been so long, even if there were issues, for us not to act on it in 10, 11 years, 12 years, it's the town's problem, not the applicant, not the subsequent buyer. So I certainly don't have any problems releasing this. So for, is there a specific lot we want to mention on this, Jeff, or lot 1?
Lot 1.
Lot 1.
All right, so for PB 08029, Beaverbrook Village, motion to release Lot 1 from the restrictive covenant.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Left, sir.
so, what's interesting is it looks like Lot 1 was an existing dwelling, is that correct?
Yeah, it's even, you're hitting all the highlights, Bob. So, it was already existing, and, you know, normally you would not include such a lot in the restrictive covenant
restriction.
because it's already, you know,
It's been
there.
released.
However, it was getting access probably from that new, but
There is no access from.
it's just,
It still gets its access off Beaverbrook Road.
It created a new front, so that it wasn't meeting the front yard setback, or at least not without having been the reduced setback under the flexible development
So,
standards.
we're
So,
wondering if that's why, but,
Okay.
and,
That's
yeah,
strange, okay,
yeah.
yeah, it was an odd one. That's for sure.
thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right, and what's the process for, once this is signed, notarized, do I pick it up from you? Do you guys
Yeah, you'll
just pick it
from
up?
our office.
Okay, so I'll be in touch with you.
Yep.
All right,
And then, if you're kind enough to provide the recording information,
Sure.
Then that would be great.
Not a problem.
All right,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
Bye. I just brought everything right. Okay.
I'll take it.
I'll just leave it with you. Thank you.
All right, next up, review the draft site plan review application form and request, for request under the new McMod bylaw.
So we are anticipating applications in the very near future.
End of the
under
month.
Bylaw, end of the month.
This month.
Specifically for 37 Powers Road. So we wanted to have a application form for you all. It's very similar to your current site plan review application. We had a couple spots highlighted, just to see how the board felt on the number of completed packets and how many paper copies we're getting of things. You know, I know that a number of the board members now, you know, just have a electronic packet, you don't have a paper packet. So, you know, if you wanted to make some of these numbers consistent throughout the submission requirements and, you know, what that number may be, because right now that kind of jumble all around. Right now, we also might want to include a list of anticipated waivers and/or special permit requirements, requests rather, under the bylaw. The board was kind of looking for that under the concept plan, when we got a couple of those early on. So again, just kind of the standard information we have with any other application. And then the only other thing that kind of changes here, instead of being development standards under 9.4, we have the specific site plan review section within the McMod bylaw 8.8. So we'll have them address each of those and then and then a third-party billing form for the legal notice, like we do any other application. And that would be about it.
So, this is a first, but decent pass, and we appreciate if you want things added or changed. We're certainly open to that, but we would like to have something for the application to come in, say, next week. So, if you're not happy, if you could at least give us some guidance so we can get something for at least this first application.
Because they're hoping to get on your March 3rd.
So the number of plans, is that consistent with the plans that the people request currently?
So that's what we have currently under site plan review, you have those sections that are highlighted.
Yep.
I don't know why we say just 3 complete application packets to go along with 3 of the stormwater drainage calculations, and then varying numbers of the large plan sets and reduced plan sets. Not sure where that came from, but again, I don't know if a number of board members want to continue to use paper packets or just use an electronic packet, or how you feel about that, or if you'd prefer getting larger plan sets versus
I like the bigger
size.
plans so I can see them, but
And I would say for these type of subdivisions where there's so much to it, I would definitely want to see a large plan set too, if possible. I normally can look at things electronically, but not on something like this.
Okay.
And the other question along those lines I was gonna ask, I don't see any requirement for them to submit an electronic file version of this.
In
It's
the
this
red.
red here.
The last one.
Ah, okay.
all right. Joni, any thoughts that you want to add?
No, other than getting large plans for this one, these.
Aaron?
No, typically I don't pick up a paper plan set, but to Johnny's point, there's a lot going on here, I'd probably grab the paper one.
Okay.
Even a smaller version of it, but it's easier to look at with a lot going on versus on the computer, so
Okay.
still get those.
I don't think it affects this, but I expect we're gonna be asking for this new one coming in to look at the traffic with the adjoining parcel that's fairly large. So we're gonna need plans for both on one sheet, so I'm not sure, don't think we have to specify it here, but
We do anticipate that this board will be looking for third-party peer reviews for a minimum of traffic and potentially architectural to make sure the architectural standards, and depending on engineering, potentially for civil and stormwater in general. So at the opening of that hearing, we would also seek the board to authorize us to set up peer review.
yeah, plus integration of the roadway system, so we're looking, that was one of our comments when we had the initial review. An internal traffic flow as opposed to pushing everything out to the surrounding public streets.
So, if we're talking about 37 Powers Road specifically right now, you're just talking about the internal site circulation there.
With that and the adjoining site.
Can you,
Going up to Westford West, you're talking about the.
Yeah, the tech park.
The Tech Park West.
okay.
We talked about that during the initial review with them.
So I know they're open to communicating with those folks. I think
Yeah.
they've already engaged in conversations with them, actually. But that's something that'll come out of the traffic review. And then depending on the willingness of the other property owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of specific to the site, Bob, because some of these
It
won't
is.
have.
Yeah, that's why I said, I'm not sure we need to put any, but
Yeah.
I do want to keep in mind how we obtain that.
Yeah. The application, I think it's case by case, I think.
Right, no, I like the
Be generic.
standards as well, so. I think it looks good, in my opinion.
Yep.
Anything else from us on this, Jeff?
I think so, just Guess it'd be nice to have a vote, and that way we can always amend it.
All right, is there a motion to adopt the new application for the MBT Communities Multifamily Development, is it guidelines, application? Application?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Just one note on here. I noticed the revision date of the form said 10/22.
We didn't want to be too presumptuous, but we'll update that.
No, because I like to reference what's we just approved.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to do that when it's an old.
Yep.
And it also seems to be missing page 2. I don't know what that was.
Well, that was, one of your other applications, but
Okay.
since we were just
But
tackling
anyway,
site
just
plan review,
making sure that
we would bog down your packet that much more.
it's Rev 10/2022 as amended here tonight. As shown here.
All right, next, we have meeting minutes. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from December 16th, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No, looks good.
Good, Bob?
Good.
All those in favor say aye?
Aye.
All right. Let's see, correspondence, I know we do have the decision in here, or the
This is-
update from,
This is very interesting to me. I need some, I need somebody to translate this for me.
It basically just gave them a
Oh.
reprieve to go back and fix it. It didn't.
yeah, it says
The
that
state
they,
had to change a few of their guidances.
but they have the authority to impose it.
So the law is legal, the guidelines that were promulgated afterwards didn't follow the necessary process. And so they're not yet enforceable, but they've since filed, they've taken action to correct that deficiency. So it will be enforceable, and they do have new abbreviated timelines to come into compliance.
And there's no impact to Westford, basically.
Correct.
No.
Milton, do they now have to comply or pay the price?
Yes,
Now, once the new,
so yeah, they still can enforce it and, yeah, same authority. Interestingly enough, I had a discussion with Jeff Hall about this the other day, and he reminded me this is a lot like when the 40B legislation came into play. The same arguments were going back and forth with, how can the state tell us what we can do with our zoning and whatnot, but that's a discussion probably offline. All right, anybody have anything else? And a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second?
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.